If you want to know what happens when something awful happens to you, where you find yourself at a loss, that there is no one on this planet who can come to your aid, you need to understand what is going through inside you. Grief is about loss. The more intense the grief, it means the more attached you were to the object or to the thing that you no longer have, which means the more attached, the more intense the emotions. I'm not talking about a grief about something casual like losing a grade or losing a bike, something you're very, very close to, a brother or a sister or a parent, or maybe even your health. You wake up as a father, as a mother, you knock on your son's door, there is no answer. The first thing that happens, you go into the denial mode. No, he isn't lost. No, he'll come back. He hasn't completely disappeared. Something intuitively inside tells you he's gone. He's not coming back anytime soon. But you see, as parents, as anyone who has suffered loss, you hear your father has done something, you say, no, my father couldn't have. So the first thing that you do is you deny. Why? Because the news, because the truth weighs heavily on you. It's too much. I'm old. Despite being in the cradle of old age, it's very, very difficult to grasp the enormity of it. You have no choice but to deny it. No, I still have time. So you deny, and you need to. It's natural. It's too much. So remember, all of us in this class deny for good reasons. Something about the foundation has cracked and you know it. You stick your head in the ground and pretend as if it doesn't exist. But there comes a point where you can no longer deny. Once you can no longer deny and the truth is shoving its head in your face, now you're in the cradle of anger. How could this be happening to me? How could our son just leave? How could my dad just do that? The thing you need to know about anger as well as denial is the following. All of us pathetic little animals in this room are after one single thing: power. With power, you can control your life. With power, you can plan out your day. With power, you know what to do with the next assignment. If you don't have that power, you don't have a GPS. What's the use of having all these dreams about buying a car, buying a house, going to school, but you have no money? You have no idea the amount of anger you'll have inside you once you get to a place where you're 60 or 70. Especially if you happen to be reflective, you're able to go back in time and examine, look at all the opportunities that were right in front of you, but you missed. And you're also going to blame other people for not being honest enough with you. Anger. When there is an event and you have lost all of your power, the only thing you have is anger. Now let me say a couple of things about anger. Do not listen to Eckhart Tolle, do not listen to Sadhguru, do not listen to any of those YouTube teachers out there. You have every goddamn right to be angry. Why? Life is in the business of pushing all of us around. You didn't get into a marriage to be suffocated, and you are. You didn't sign up for a class because you enjoy it. It's just something for society forces you to do. You have to say hello to your customers even though you don't want to. All of us are forced into an existence that we didn't ask for. You live in a way you don't want to, you get sick in a way you don't want to, and you die in a way you don't want to. And you have to hang out with people whom you despise and hate and are disgusted, but you have no choice. Add to it the psychological aspect of it. Who am I? What am I? You have to fight with God, you have to fight with your parents, you have to fight with establishment, take classes, have a job, make sure you have a couple of friends, but just in case you get bored, you have the resources to get yourself out. If you got crummy parents, that's just too much, man. Anger is not the issue, it's how you express it. In a culture such as this, none of us are educated enough to be able to express anger the right way. You know, the reason why it takes so long at the very beginning of the class to start any conversation is because I have no idea really where to start. Add to it, it's a complete waste of time. There comes a point where you're just tired of being angry all the time. So you know what you do? You make a deal. You say, Amir, I thought I could do all the assignments. I realize I can't. Amir, you know, knowing that I was lazy, it made me very, very angry. I know we only have 1 week left at the end of the semester. Can I make a deal with you? You can't tolerate yourself for being angry for too long. Other people will not tolerate you for being angry too long. So you have to compromise. You have to bargain. What if I bring you a bag of cash? Will that get me a C? You know, you're sick, you're laying in your bed, you've always been nasty to your wife or to your husband, to your kids. You look at them and you say, I'm sick, I'm dying, I can't do anything, I apologize. If only I knew then what I know now, I would have behaved differently. And you're bargaining with your children, with your wife or your husband. You want them to take care of you. You're too weak, you can't do anything on your own. You want to access those parts in your circle, the people in your circle, so you can melt away all the anger they had because of you. But you realize, you know, it doesn't matter how bad you feel about having wasted most of your time, how easily you squandered away your youth, gave in to pathetic pleasures, used people in all the wrong ways. Now you wake up like myself and you say, today, whatever I touch, I'm going to turn them into gold. And then you get yourself off of the bed. You say, ow, my back. You haven't done anything. The day I just started. You try to bargain, it's too late. You're all alone. And then you know what happens? And again, do not be deceived by this how-to culture in which you and I live. There is no how to bargain well, how to be angry well. No, these are stages, man. You got to be cooked by them. And when you're fully cooked, if you ever graduate, then you will know. See, the problem with how-to culture is you're angry, you want it to be resolved in a week. It doesn't work that way. It's like turkey. You gotta be in the oven for like 5, 6, 7 hours. When you realize that bargaining is not taking you anywhere, you get really, really, really depressed. Depression is an intense grief, you know, that you have on the inside. You're all alone. No one can help you. You just gotta live in it for a long, long time. Not to walk, not to express yourself too casually, because then if you ever get over it, you'll look back and you'll be embarrassed and ashamed by all the awful things you had done. And plus, depression does something really interesting. I had a student last semester, he was maybe 17 in high school. The first couple of class meetings, he was really excited. And then one day he comes to my office and he says, you know, I've suffered from depression ever since I was 12. I try to encourage as much as I can, I could. Eventually, you know, when someone is depressed, and this is not just ordinary depression, this is chronic. When something is chronic, it means it lives inside you. You can't do much about it. Whatever you touch just dies. Do you have friends in chronic depression? Of course not. Do you have friends when you're angry? Of course not. You bargain with your friends. Come, listen to my heartache for 5, 10 minutes, and then I'll buy you pizza. How many times can you do that before they no longer answer your phone call? For those of you who know the story of Layli Majnun, that is born in both the Middle East as well as India, something really interesting happens. This man loves this woman, but he can't get to her. She's about to get married to some prince out there somewhere. So he runs into a deer. And the only thing he can do is he looks at this deer and says, go find this woman. Tell her how much I love her. Whenever you feel too much, you're always going to be alone in your feelings. You have no friends. Remember, friendships are only in moments of comfort. Only. Anyone who is serious, anyone who feels too much is always going to be alone. Always. Now, what's going to happen to those of us in this class who find yourself in complete isolation because you feel too much, you're going to be like Jesus Christ in the Gospel of Mark. Once in a while, you find yourself in these moments where you say, let this cup pass by me. I feel too much. Why can't I be like other people? Other people laugh. Other people smile. Other people have a good time. Other people have friends. Why can't I be like that? And then you'll find yourself in these other moments that you can also borrow from the Gospel of Mark. You find yourself on the cross. And in your own unique way, in your own language, according to your own temperament, life experiences, you're going to say, my God, why have thou forsaken me? You have no one. You got no dad, you got no mom, you got no friends. You don't even have yourself or God. You feel completely abandoned. If you're able to get over depression, and no one gets over depression, what you do, if you ever get to that stage, you're able to stand outside of it. And it happens gradually, a drop at a time. And from the outside, you look at your depression. From the outside, you look at the bargaining, all the compromises you were making or trying to make. On the outside, you look at the anger. On the outside, you look at the deny. On the outside, you look at the event that have led you to all these different stages. And then something happens. You accept. You accept the fact that you will never have any friends because you know too much and you feel too much. You also accept the fact that just because you know too much and feel too much, you can't really go through life all by yourself. You need a companion, not because you love, but because you understand life. You're also going to have children, not because you're a great father or a great mother, not because you know how to be in a family in a healthy way. You're a woman, your body needs a child, just give it to it. You're a man, you're married to a woman, she wants a child, just give it to her. It's all called friendships of utility. Use life in a way that will benefit you. Now, the problem with acceptance is you really have to be in a place where you see things really clearly and you know a lot of things and you can kind of put things in the right places. So if before you would put your anger in the streets and you would fight people, now you write poetry.